in pretty bad shape, and you
Yeah.
guys deserve someplace to be.
Yeah, we've been
He can't be
trying, but
living in a tent,
Mhm.
and he can't be. Is anybody helping you with this?
she does back there, helps me tremendously, get to doctors and stuff.
But I mean, any agency like
No,
DHS or,
No, DHS, he don't get food stamps because it's, social security, they give me food stamps, but, like, went to homeless shelter and they deny me both because they're not equipped for him.
well, he's not. He needs something better. You got charged with retail fraud in the third degree, actually second degree. It's alleged you were at Menards and you stole some property worth $94.93. But you have a previous conviction, making that a second or subsequent offense, which makes it retail fraud in the second degree. Prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of retail fraud in the third degree, which is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500, rather than a year in jail and $1,000. They're also asking for $94.93 for the restitution, and they're recommending no jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than that, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No, Your Honor.
Were you in here when I went through the advice of rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you didn't, I was willing to do it again. All right. Were you in the Menards store on November 17th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's take a look at this. We get some cases from Menards. Some merchants send us none. I don't remember the last time we had a Home Depot case. Dispatch to Menards had an ongoing problem with 3 subjects stealing stuff. Showed me 2 photographs. What do you need, Luke? Cassandra Stratton and you. And you guys took some flashlights, headlamps, took them in the bathroom, and then left on your bikes. Tell me what happened.
I didn't leave on a bike. I left on foot. They stopped her and talked to her. She said later on, they never stopped me or nothing.
Was this when you were living at the homeless camp?
This is a little bit before that.
Okay. And you were taking this stuff to resell, or did you need headlamps?
Well, staying on 4th Street at a house that had been, it was embarrassing.
You were in the burned out house?
Well, it was boarded up and everything. It wasn't, and then they removed us. It was her home, but Rosalind Bourne or whatever her name is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was lying in a burned out basement with the full moon in my eyes. All right, I remember that house, and I remember that you'd been struggling, and so you took this stuff with this other lady, and now you're accepting responsibility for that.
Your Honor.
Did they take you to jail?
No, they bonded out right there.
He posted $100 a bond. That'll cover the restitution. Where are you now?
My friend who brought me today I'm in Kalamazoo, and I'm trying to get into the mission. I was here the other day with the homeless thing, talking to you with the Kellys.
Yes.
But my husband is obviously disabled, and the mission and Keystone are telling us that they're not equipped for him, so they're not helping us.
He was quite debilitated. I hadn't seen him in a while,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
bad.
really in pretty bad shape, and you
Yeah.
guys deserve someplace to be.
Yeah, we've been
He can't be
trying, but
living in a tent,
Mhm.
and he can't be. Is anybody helping you with this?
she does back there, helps me tremendously, get to doctors and stuff.
But I mean, any agency like
No,
DHS or,
No, DHS, he don't get food stamps because it's, social security, they give me food stamps, but, like, went to homeless shelter and they deny me both because they're not equipped for him.
well, he's not. He needs something better. But you're not doing well. You got $225 worth of other unpaid fines and costs. You got an old retail fraud from 2019 where you still owe $60. You got a trespass and some other stuff. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $75 fine, $50 state minimum fee. I'm gonna waive the attorney fee. $95 restitution to Menards. That's $295 minus $100 of bond. At least we'll have enough to pay Menards. So you go $195. I want to do a payment plan on all cases. Still owe me some money on a couple of them. Putting you in jail won't fix it. But you guys have been going in there stealing, and you went in there one time too many, and they're like, here they are again. And that's not a way to get through life. If you were in jail, Mr. Kelly's got no one to help him. So where are you in Kalamazoo? Just on the street? That's not good. They can't get you in the mission there either?
No,
Well, we ought to have some resources for, have you gone to Hope United or any of the other
I
places?
reached out to the homeless research place,
Yes.
and right now they don't even have the funds, so they're trying to pay the rent to their building or something like that.
Yeah, she was doing that mostly on her own. Is that you?
No.
She was doing a lot of that.
Yeah, she's
Just-
trying. I mean, I know the lady, like, she's an amazing person. She just trying to get things.
Well,
gave us food
where
and
she
stuff.
was doing it wasn't zoned for it, but she was trying to do good
Best she
work.
could, yeah, and she gives us food. She does, and she gave me a jacket.
All right, well, this is a sad story without a good ending, but you go out there and sign up for the payment plan on all of your open cases.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, thank you.
This is the time and date set for a probation violation hearing in the matter of Destiny Elizabeth Miller. She's here with her attorney, Lori Hines. The probation agent in charge of this case, Autumn Kiefer, was theoretically here to testify regarding this matter, but I've just been informed that she isn't here. At any rate, Miss Miller, every time I read about this, just makes me sad. Like the young man I just saw a few minutes ago, Mr. Hovarder, although she's not as far down the path as he is. Miss Miller was put on probation on a use of methamphetamine charge, and we struggled right from the get-go. She didn't show up for sentencing and took a year or so to catch up with her. Then we struggled through the probation, had a previous probation violation, and Autumn has filed a probation violation petition. Alleging that the defendant has violated her probation. Find the actual petition. By essentially continuing to use drugs and alcohol. And she has been struggling. Autumn has prepared a status report with an update. Where's the actual petition? Here it is. It's alleged that, no, that's the previous one. She failed to appear on a bench warrant. She got picked up last week, March 28th, and at a place in Montville. She'd been in and out of a couple of different rehabs. I asked the court to set this for probation violation, and Ms. Hines was appointed. So the allegation is from way back when that she got the new retail fraud charge. She failed to abstain from the use of drugs or alcohol, and she failed to participate in treatment or programs as directed. Ms. Hines, how does your client wish to plead to the probation violation?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Destiny, did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this
No, sir.
or promise you anything?
No, sir.
How old are you now? 22?
Yeah, I turned 23 in June.
All right, this was actually set for a hearing regarding your probation violation. Where we would have to take testimony to establish beyond a preponderance that you violated one or more terms of your probation. You don't have a right to have a jury trial on that. You have a right to have a hearing and you have a right to have a lawyer. Ms. Hines has been with you since the beginning on this case. And you also have the right to simply acknowledge that you violated the terms of the probation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at the status report. We just lost track of you
Whole year.
for a year, and you had a bunch of positive tests, and then you were gone. And then we just caught up with you on March 28th. And you told me you'd been staying with your grandparents, then you were at this place you shouldn't have been over in Mottville. Your daughter's over in Edwardsburg. So do you acknowledge that you got this retail fraud charge, which we took care of last week,
Yes, sir.
that you continued to use drugs or alcohol and that you didn't report to your probation officer? Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, you're 22 years old. You're not just a young kid anymore. Did you ever get your ID?
Yes, sir, I did.
So you do have an ID, but no driver's license.
No, I do not have a driver's license, but when I get out and go home, my dad said he's gonna help me get everything that I need to get my license.
All right, you got your ID in Indiana or Michigan?
Indiana.
All right, your dad got out of prison earlier this spring?
No, he's been out of prison for 3 years.
Oh, I got it mixed up. I thought he went back. Where is he?
He's in Mongo, Indiana. He just got accepted into drug court in LaGrange. Kenneth Miller.
All right, Lori, what would you like me to know?
Destiny did say that she had been in rehab in Bloomington, Indiana for 27 days. She got out February 27th. Hopefully she's telling me accurately that she's been clean since that date. You know, it just makes me sad for her. I look at her and see my youngest daughter who's going to start medical school in the fall. They're the same age. So just really a sad situation where family life can just make a difference in a young person's life and how they're move ahead. She's accepting of jail time. Maybe your dad can be help of you. Maybe you can, if your dad's on track, maybe you'll be on track if you go to Mongo, Indiana.
That's
He's
fine.
on adult drug treatment court. So maybe that is a positive thing. So she's accepting of the recommendation. We would just ask for the 74 days. She can accept that with any credit of jail time that she's already served, Your Honor.
Destiny, at some point up the line a little bit, you come from an Amish family, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And your grandparents were Amish?
Yeah, my dad's whole side of the family's Amish.
All right, but your dad's not presently in the church?
No, well, yeah, no, not currently, no.
All right, and your mother was not raised Amish? And your sister, was she was,
I don't have any sisters. I have
Okay.
5 brothers.
all right, yeah, that's right. All right, so you're 22, you've never really had a job. Have you ever worked any place?
I worked at Popeyes in Howe, Indiana in like 2021.
Okay, on the toll road there?
Yes, sir.
Your story is just so sad.
No, it is sad.
Well, you got out of rehab and shortly thereafter, you're with all these people you shouldn't have been with.
I should have stayed in Bloomington, Indiana. But I knew I had a warrant to take care of, so
Did you have a warrant in another county? You're talking about this one.
just here.
Bloomington, Indiana is where Indiana University
Yes,
is.
sir.
They filmed one of my favorite movies, Breaking Away, in Bloomington, Indiana.
I actually had a job interview at the Hilton Garden Inn before I came back to Michigan, and I'm pretty sure I got the job, but I didn't go back to Bloomington. So, because I got picked up on my warrant.
I'm not trying to be overly critical, but people make bad decisions that they're stuck with. And I try not to comment on other people's appearance. That's one reason I just let my hair grow, because most people hate it. And it's like, well, that's my cross to bear. But face tattoos do not put you at the front of the line for a customer service job.
I know, it was actually that housekeeping job, it was for housekeeping.
Okay. Did you get those done when you were in jail?
When you were in rehab.
When I got them done in Montville, like 2 years ago.
Okay, just at somebody's house?
I plan to get them removed.
Yes. They're an instant sign when first if someone meets you that you've made bad decisions.
I definitely plan to get them removed.
I just talked with a young man, he's probably in his 40s now. And I met him when he was very young. And he's been in and out of prison, in and out of addiction. And he's about to maybe go back to rehab for the ultimate 5th time or something. You got so much potential,
Yeah.
and you're so young,
Mhm.
and to just keep swimming upstream is hard. But you need some forced clean time. This case is a 2021 case. It started off badly when you went AWOL for a year
Mhm.
before we even got the sentence done. We had a couple of previous probation violations. You had 6 days jail. I ordered 90 days, credit 6. You now have 8 more, which is 14. I deferred the 90 days, and at some point, when it goes as badly as this, I need to call people on it. 90 days, credit 14, which is 76 days to do. You will get good time credit. And if you're a trustee, you could be out sooner than that, but you just need some forced time. You got out of rehab and relapsed right into the same lifestyle with the same wrong people. And maybe you could benefit from your dad's program. He hasn't been very much help to you. Maybe he
dad's
can make
been a
up
lot of
for
help.
it.
Actually,
What's that?
my dad has been a lot of help to me, actually.
Well, good. I hope he can in the near future. I'm gonna waive all fines and costs. Probation is revoked, loss of deferral.
So does that mean when I get out of jail, I won't be on probation or?
You won't owe me any money, you won't be on any probation or supervision, you can just get on with your life, although you will have this conviction on your record.
Yeah. So when would my out date be?
They can tell you when you get back to jail,
Okay.
Depends on-
probably sometime in early June, would be my guess.
So right around my birthday.
Yeah. Maybe not that early, let me see. I don't know, 60 days, it could be, if you're a trustee, it'll be sooner. But I want you to just use the time to try to get your head on straight. But I've taken this as far as I can. And I wish you well, I wish you go to Indiana, get your life in order, but I can't do any more than I've done. So you're free to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, she's a danger only to herself. She's a nice, sweet young girl, but she is not doing very well. All right, Miss Hines, yeah, we watch some kids and we watch some other kids.
She's Heidi. She was born the same year Heidi was.
Yes.
Sad.
Okay, I'm sure Heidi's all over Iowa basketball.
Oh, we all are. Go Hawkeyes.
Okay, well, that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, 9:20.
All right, thanks for your help.
Heidi got accepted, well, a bunch of schools, but she's going to Central Michigan.
They have a medical school?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, let me stop the feed here.
So,
We do- What have we got here? Let's do Alexander Foster. Mr. Foster, good morning to you. This is file number 24291OD. It's an ordinance case from Three Rivers, I believe. Are you Alexander Foster?
Yes, sir.
We met before. I'm Judge Middleton, and you're here. And you're here with your lawyer, Mr. Ross Truckee. Mr. Foster, you got charged with operating while intoxicated. As you saw, we've had several of these today. We get about 250 of these a year. This was in Sturgis, Centerville and Chicago, right at the main four. Blood alcohol was 0.105. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce this to a charge of impaired driving. I went through this a couple times, but let's talk about it again. Operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor. That's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 6 points on your driving record and requires that your license be suspended. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss that charge for a plea to a lesser charge of impaired driving. Impaired driving is punishable by up to 93 days in jail, fine of up to $300, 4 points on your driving record. And again, it allows you to keep a restricted driver's license to drive back and forth to work and other purposes.
Your Honor, this is a city case also.
It is a city case, and
Yeah.
you've also got unpaid fines and costs, 2 sets of them. A no ops and a domestic violence. You owe me $680. It was due in March of 2021. So one option is to just put you in jail. One option is to have you start to pay your old fines and costs before we do the sentence in this one. But Mr. Foster, you've been here quite a while. Did you hear me go through the advice of rights? That you're giving up your right to have a trial if you enter this plea. Did you hear me do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's do it for you and Mr. Eberstein. Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand in your own behalf and testify for yourself, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. If you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Where were you going?
I was heading back home,
From where?
dropping somebody off at their house. You can tell.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Three Rivers.
To Sturgis?
Yes.
Where were you drinking?
Christian Brothers.
Brandy?
Yes.
Where did you drink it?
I drank it in Sturgeon, then went to Three Rivers and finished it off, and then I stopped there and just drove back. I never finished the drink.
Well, I'm glad you didn't crash. And Ross, you'll accept the blood alcohol was 0.105.
Yes.
All right, let's set this also for May 6th. Does that work for you, Ross?
Believe so. Mr. Foster's also got another file, state case. That wasn't up for today, but we'd be open to entering a plea in that today just to.
Well, let me see if I can find it. It doesn't show on my cheat sheet, so let's see, because I've seen Mr. Foster lately.
Got a file number for you if that helps.
It says it's up for 419, so that is an operating with no ops. Yes. What do we want to do with that case?
There's an offer from the prosecutor to allowing another.
All right. 23-2388 ST. On that case, you're charged with driving on a valid operator's license. You got to stop driving. How'd you get here today?
Somebody drove me.
Because you got to know ops from way back in 2019 where you never paid the fine. It was reduced from a driving suspended. You had no valid operator's license when you were driving drunk in February. And then you got another one sometime at about that same time. So you don't have a valid license, and this impaired driving conviction ain't gonna help it much. All right, so on that day, let's see the date of this ticket.
I got my temporary, I just gotta do the road test. I gotta find a.
Oh, yeah, you sure do. But I would suggest you do it sooner rather than later before this conviction hits your driving record.
Right.
All right, so that was supposed to be in front of Judge Pattison. So on December 30th, we were driving a car here in St. Joe County without a valid license.
Yes.
All right. All right, we'll show as allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. Set both cases for sentence for May 6th at 11 o'clock. You do not need to appear for the pretrial on May 19th. I mean, April 19th. Are you working?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is it possible that I can, well, actually, never mind.
No, yeah, it's possible. I want you to start making payments on all these unpaid fines and costs, or the likelihood that I'm just gonna put you in jail goes up. One of these is a DV, which you didn't pay anything since 2021, and the other one is a no ops. They cut you a break on this one, so I want to see A, you don't have to pay everything off, but I want you to make some payments on this stuff between now and May 6th. And B, I want you to take your driver's test and get your permit and get your license. And then we'll see what we're gonna do. Where are you working?
Was working in Morgan Nelson, but we just did they just did a week off from there, but other than that, I'm doing my barbecue business.
Well, you told me you were at
Morgan Nelson.
Morgan, and that's
Yeah,
the problem is they're like this. They were hiring people, they're laying
they
off.
just did another week off, and then they were doing another week off here in like the next 2 weeks.
Well, that's a good company.
Is there an afternoon slot available on May 6th to help preserve his?
But yeah, you work in first shift? Yeah, I occasionally will do these at 4 o'clock.
I'm available at 4.
All right, now. Your temporary permit would allow you to drive with somebody else in the car. So you can do that. Don't drive without it. Don't step on any more landmines until we get this thing taken care of. But you need to start paying me some money. It's been 3 years. And let's see what we can accomplish between now and the 6th of May. All right, you're free to go.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm heading to our business right now. After I leave there, I can come back to
Who brought you here?
Neil,
Okay, all right. When's your next barbecue gig?
today,
Where?
in front of Myers,
In Sturgis?
no, 3 Rivers,
You're doing it in front of Myers and 3 Rivers?
in front of the GOAT.
Front
Yes,
of-
the strip mall out in front of Myers, where like Tokyo Steakhouse.
Oh, there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, maybe I'll see you there.
Sounds good.
I always have to shift gears. It takes 3 times as long to do everything with the help of an interpreter, but we're gonna segue into just regular English language cases. And we're gonna deal with our custody defendant, Mr. Jacob Orsi. Good morning, Mr. Orsi.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is file 24274 SM, People versus Jacob Orsi. Mr. Orsi, the complaint alleges that on or about February the 10th, that you assaulted Ashley Williams, someone you had a relationship with, and did cause an aggravated injury. That's charged as aggravated domestic assault, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Second count is domestic violence, second offense. There are 2 counts of that. You've been in jail for 14 days. Do you have a hold on you from another jurisdiction?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Where's that from?
LaGrange County.
What I read here is the defendant's gonna plead to aggravated domestic violence, DV second, and the prosecutors recommended a 35-day sentence cap. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will be no contest. So essentially pleading to count 1, count 2.
Okay. Those are each punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Let's talk about no contest. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened, and you will allow or accept that a conviction would enter. You understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is that what you wish to do here?
Yes, I do.
What's the charge in LaGrange?
It's a probation violation,
On the what charge
possession.
of meth?
Yes.
You look good now. You've been in jail for 14 days, so it helps you get your equilibrium back. But you look clear-headed and clear-eyed, and I think you're doing this of your own volition. Other than the plea agreement stated here, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, I did not, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No.
All right, by pleading no contest, I don't take the factual basis from you. I will take it from the affidavit of probable cause, which is sworn to by the officer. So let me. Josh Wired of the Sturgis Police Department says they went to the emergency room where they found Ashley Williams severe bruising on her calf, ankle, and ribs. She was very frightened of you, so she said somebody else did it. And then they said that your boyfriend had been assaulting her for several months, but she was too afraid to report the assaults. The friend says she's afraid that he's going to end up killing her. Jason had punched, kicked, and choked her. She had to go to the emergency room. And then they spoke to Ashley, and she also confirmed that that's what happened. So that's a sufficient factual basis, even though it's unpleasant. I'm gonna order 35 days, credit 35 days. I see why you took this plea. This could have been a year in jail kind of case. You have credit 14, leaving 21 days to serve. I'm gonna waive everything but the state minimum costs. 125 or 2 additional days. That's on count 1. On count 2, I'm gonna order the same thing. Concurrent. What's underlying this is methamphetamine. Nobody acts like that. Just plain old evil meanness. 35 days, credit 14, leaving 21 days to serve, concurrent with count 1. Now, you've also got an old case, assault and battery, where you never paid the fine. I'm gonna wipe that out. 22546 SM.
Thank you, Judge.
When you go to Indiana, you can hopefully be done with everything here. You got some unpaid booking fees, but I'm not gonna worry about that. In that case, you were to pay $275 by November 28th of last year. You didn't make any payment. So I'm gonna order 14 days credit, 14 days, wipe that out. Wipe out the fine. Concurrent with this case 24274 SM. So Mr. Orsi, there's a couple of booking fees, but they're not anything to be concerned about, but this wipes out everything you've got here. 21 days will be less than that. It'll probably be about 18, and you can go to Indiana and deal with your problem there. But you need some forced clean time and you're looking better for it. I didn't like reading this at all. And there's not even much more to say about it. But they'll take you back to jail. I went within the cap recommended by the prosecutor and this matter's completed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There it is. Neri Felipe Mazargos, charged with operating while intoxicated, impeding traffic, and driving while a suspended license. Is that you, sir?
Señor, ¿usted es el señor Neri Mazariagos?
Sí.
Yes.
This is Ms. Vivian Montero.
Esta es la señora Vivian Montero.
She is an interpreter
Ella es una intérprete.
and she works here in our court quite often to help me.
Y ella trabaja en el tribunal muy seguido para ayudarme.
I'm going to ask her to swear an oath to translate truthfully.
Voy a pedir que preste juramento para interpretar de manera fiel.
And then we'll begin. Do you swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish?
I do.
And would you state your name, please?
Vivian Montero, Court Interpreter 18369.
Mr. Bush, your lawyer, informed me
Licenciado Bush, su abogado me informó que
that we're going to have to continue this case to another day.
tenemos que aplazar este caso a otra fecha.
As part of the investigation in this case, the police took your blood.
Como parte de la investigación en este caso, la policía le mandó a sacar sangre.
And it's been sent to the State Police Crime Laboratory for analysis.
Y lo han mandado al laboratorio para un análisis, al laboratorio estatal,
To determine whether there was alcohol or other drugs in your system.
para determinar si había alcohol u otras sustancias reguladas en su sistema.
And that report has not come back yet.
No hemos recibido el informe todavía.
So neither the prosecutor or your lawyer
Ni el fiscal ni el abogado de usted
are prepared to fully discuss this case without having all the facts.
no pueden discutir el caso sin tener todos los hechos.
So they're going to ask me to continue this matter for another pretrial.
Me han pedido que aplace esta audiencia para otra fecha, otra preconsulta ante el juicio.
So I have no objection if you do it on a Friday or move it to a Thursday.
Well, we'll put it on a Thursday afternoon. Let's see if I can see when you're here.
Vamos a hacerlo por un jueves por la tarde. Déjame ver cuándo el licenciado va a estar.
Is Thursday, May 2nd work for you?
Jueves 2 de
2
mayo. ¿Funciona para el licenciado?
Bear with me a moment, please.
Sure. I know we got phone problems here. Good morning.
What time you're on?
2 o'clock.
Yes, I'm doing, well, yeah, some abuse and neglect. That may be in Three Rivers at 1 o'clock, so, but we'll have to figure out how that works.
We'll do the best we can.
I'm in the area.
Okay. How about if we set it for 2:30?
That would, I think, would make it more doable. Thank you.
We're opening a new courthouse in Three Rivers. So the first time in the history of St. Joe County, we're going to have a annex courthouse, but it means the lawyers are going to have to be two places at once.
And mine may very well be Zoom if there's a, I think there isn't going to be a Zoom station here, so I might be able to do it from, but we'll find out.
All right, well, Vivian, let's advise the defendant that he has to be here on Thursday, May 2nd at 2:30.
Señor, usted tiene que regresar nuevamente al tribunal el 2 de mayo a las 2:30 de la tarde.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you still living at the same address?
¿Usted vive en la misma dirección?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you take this and put that on your refrigerator?
Tome esa notificación y no se le olvide, que lo pegue a la nevera para que no se lo va a olvidar.
I will see you on Thursday, May 2nd.
Le volveré a ver el día jueves 2 de mayo a las 2:30.
Good morning, Mr. War. You're here with your lawyer, Mr. John Bush, and you're charged with operating while intoxicated. We've had several of these today. This happened in White Pigeon. Operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Prosecutors agreed to reduce this to a lesser charge of impaired driving. I don't know if you were in here when I described that. It's a misdemeanor. It's better for several reasons. Carries a lower fine, $300 maximum, up to 93 days in jail. 4 points on your driving record, but allows you to keep a restricted driver's license so you can drive back and forth to work, school, treatment, other limited purposes. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You were in here when I went through the advice of rights a little earlier. Do you understand you're giving all those rights up? By entering this plea, there won't be any trial?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a look at this.
We'll be doing this on the PBT today. It was
All right.
0.16.
You got pulled over in US 12 and 131 right at the main 4 in White Pigeon on October 6th. Where were you going?
Get home.
From where?
My friend's house.
Where was the friend's house?
I don't remember exactly what section of town it was in.
But from White Pigeon?
Yes, sir.
You live in Three Rivers?
Yes, I do.
You work down there someplace?
My pigeon.
Or like trailer factories or something? How'd you have to be in White Pigeon?
I was visiting a friend.
Okay.
He works in American Axle.
Oh, okay. And what were you drinking?
A bottle of green tea liquor.
And your blood test was a 0.16 on the PBT?
Yes, sir.
This was 1:22 in the morning. It's right in front of the state police post. There's nobody in the state police post much anymore, but. Do you know why they pulled you over?
My car died in the middle of the highway.
Well, that'll do it. At least you didn't hurt yourself or somebody else, and that's good. How long have you been at American Axle?
3.5 years.
Good for you. What shift are you on?
Third.
So you're not missing work right now? You just been up all night?
Yes.
All right, well, we're gonna go with the same thing. I'm gonna set this for sentencing on. John, did I just set you for one?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's try May 6th. Does that work for you? Monday, May 6th.
Oh, we said pretrial, you know, but we didn't send him sentence.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Just a moment. At what time, Your Honor?
11.
That looks fine.
All right. How big was this bottle of green tea? Was it like a big thing or just like a?
Probably about 20 ounce bottle.
All right, I'll look into that. I'm not familiar with that. All right, I'm gonna give you this form. Ask the bailiffs to take you out to the court office. You'll come in and meet with the probation department earlier that morning, about 9 or 9:30, and we'll come in the courtroom. oops, that's May 6th. All right, Mr. Warren, take this scratched up form I just did out to the counter. And I will see you on May 6th. That's a Monday. And we'll deal with it at that time. Thank you.